Hey yo, what up everybody? It's me, Fitness65, and I'm making a new video back. Haven't made a video in a while, so because I've been busy and just had a lot of stuff on my mind, but I'm back and I'm just gonna give you my WrestleMania 27 predictions and also my quick wrestling thoughts if I have enough time in this video. But before I get to that, just gotta say a lot of things that I wasn't able to say or when I made videos. Rip Nate Dogg, very good rapper. We lost him and then lost some other people along the way and just RIP them. It's a shame that we lost a few people and that a lot of people are starting to die. It's just a sad 2011. It's just not going good right now when it comes to famous people dying. But hopefully we don't lose any more people. But then again, we lost people like that in 2010 and 2011. So we gotta expect what we gotta expect. But these are my predictions. WrestleMania 27. When you look at the card doesn't really look that good. It just doesn't feel like a WrestleMania 27. Like when you look at WrestleMania 26, the only big name match that I can think of that sold the WrestleMania pay-per-view was Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker. The undercard was all right, and then you had the Money in the Bank being surprising, and then you had Sheamus versus Triple H, which was kind of surprising. But really, that one match at WrestleMania 26 between The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels was what was the selling point of that pay-per-view and made people want to see WrestleMania 26. But when you look at WrestleMania 27, it just doesn't feel like a WrestleMania card. Just mostly feels like a SummerSlam card that looks good on paper, but if you looked at it, you would just say this wasn't WrestleMania worthy. But then again, this pay per view might surprise us. There's some sleeper matches on here, which I'm gonna get to in a minute, that could ultimately surprise us and could be some pretty talked about matches, and that I have people talking. But anyway, enough of me rambling on because I got 2 minutes and 16 seconds, and I haven't been able to get to my predictions. So let's get started with my predictions video. I'm not gonna. These are just how I have them in order. I don't. I have a feeling the order is gonna be different at WrestleMania, but I just have what I wrote on the paper, what some of these matches are. So these are just my order, what I think some of these matches are gonna be. The first match is gonna be the 8-man tag match between the Core, which is Wade Barrett, who just recently won the Intercontinental title from Kofi Kingston, Ezekiel Jackson, Justin Gabriel, Heath Slater versus Kane, Big Show, Santino Marella, and Vladimir Kozlov. I really don't expect much from this matchup. In my opinion, the Core should go over in this matchup because they need to be established as one of the most dominant heels on SmackDown. And Big Show, Kane, and Santino Marella and Vladimir Kozlov don't need the win. So I'm looking for the Core to get the win, and they need the win if SmackDown is looking to push them as one of the top heel groups on SmackDown. So I look for the Core to go over, but for some reason I have a feeling that they're going to have Big Show and Kane and Santino Marella and Vladimir Kozlov go over to get people happy and have one of the faces go over, which I don't think should happen, but this is the WWE, so they're going to end up doing that. But in my opinion, the Core should go over to be established as one of the most dominant heels on SmackDown if they want to keep continuing the whole Core thing, pushing them as the dominant heel stable on SmackDown. They should go over, but I have a feeling Kane, Big Show, Santino Marella, and Vladimir Kozlov will win this matchup. The second matchup is, in my opinion, is probably going to be the U.S. title match between Sheamus against Daniel Bryan. These two had a good match, I believe, a couple weeks ago when Daniel Bryan put the U.S. title on the line against Sheamus, and which was surprisingly one of the best matches of the night on Raw. And now these two get a rematch. This should be one of the sleeper matches of the night on this show, as I have a feeling there's going to be at least 2 or 3 sleeper matches on here. I think this is going to be one of the sleeper matches on here. Expect this to be a good matchup. If Sheamus shows up, if Sheamus brings his A game, and you already know what Daniel Bryan can do, this should be one of the best matches of the night on this card. And it all depends on Sheamus. If I got to go with my prediction on here, I got to go with Sheamus to win, but expect this to be Daniel Bryan's homecoming and show everybody why he should be one of the top guys in the company and why the focus should be on him as well on Raw, and why he should be one of the main focus, why he's going to be one of the premier acts on Raw. So look for Daniel Bryan to show his stuff and bring a good match out of Sheamus, but Sheamus will retain the U.S. title. We then go to the third matchup, which is a match I really don't care about, but I think it's kind of a waste for two of the guys in this matchup, which is John Morrison, Trish Stratus, and Snooki versus Lake Cool and Dolph Ziggler. Really, I'm not really looking forward to this matchup. I have my thoughts about Snooki. I can go on and rant about Snooki, but that's for another video for a different time. But just in my opinion, John Morrison and Dolph Ziggler are being wasted all for Snooki. I mean, their talent is being wasted to push this matchup that is going to be mostly focused on Snooki, and I really don't expect much from this matchup. Although you do have some good workers in here: John Morrison, Trish Stratus, Michelle McCool. Layla's kind of debatable, but she's an okay worker, and Dolph Ziggler. So I really don't expect this matchup to be bad, but that's not saying that this match is going to be good. If I got to go with a prediction in this matchup, I got to go with John Morrison, Trish Stratus, and Snooki to win this match because it's Snooki and they had all this hype about her, so there's no way Snooki's team is going to lose this matchup. So yeah, that's my prediction for that matchup. The fourth matchup is a matchup that is going to be interesting to see how it's going to go and what it's going to do for Cody Rhodes, and if Rey Mysterio is going to put over Cody Rhodes, and that's between Rey Mysterio and Cody Rhodes. I'm kind of looking forward to this matchup. This should be a really good matchup. From my understanding, Rey Mysterio handpicked Cody Rhodes to be one of his opponents at WrestleMania. I'm not sure if it's true or not, but that's what I heard, and I expect this to be a really good matchup. Rey Mysterio always brings his A game at WrestleMania. Cody Rhodes is a pretty good worker, so I expect these two to have a really good matchup. I want to say Cody Rhodes will be my prediction, but I have a feeling that Rey Mysterio is going to win. But Cody Rhodes really needs this win if they want to push him as a serious threat on SmackDown. And then, of course, they can push a rematch between these two with Rey Mysterio going over that. But if they're serious about Cody Rhodes and about pushing him and wanting to get him over, he really needs to go over Rey Mysterio. But I have a feeling they won't do that. So, yeah, Rey Mysterio will win this matchup, even though I want Cody Rhodes to win because he really needs to get pushed real bad on SmackDown. And if he wants to be taken seriously and pushed into the main event level, he really needs to go over Rey, but he won't. So, yeah, that's my prediction. Rey Mysterio for that matchup. Next matchup, Randy Orton versus CM Punk. A matchup that many people are kind of looking forward to because CM Punk is a really good wrestler, and you don't know what you're going to get with Randy Orton, but he always puts on decent performances at WrestleMania. The story and the build to this matchup has been pretty decent, with Randy Orton kind of getting the upper hand on CM Punk, but lately CM Punk has been getting the upper hand on Randy Orton, so it's going to be interesting to see how this match unfolds, and I expect this to be one of the sleeper matches, another one of those sleeper matches of the night, just depending on if Randy Orton shows up and he's like motivated, because you already know what you're going to get with CM Punk, and he's going to have his working boots on and ready to have a good matchup. So it's all going to depend on Randy Orton, and the outcome is all going to depend on if Randy Orton is not really selfish to put over CM Punk. Like he's thinks he does what's good for the business, and that's put CM Punk over. And because if they want to push a CM Punk John Cena matchup at the next pay per view, because we all know John Cena is going to beat The Miz, they really need to have CM Punk go over Randy Orton if they want to establish him as one of the big bad heels and set up a program with John Cena. But I have a feeling they're not going to do that. They're going to have Randy Orton go over, and these two are going to have a rematch at the next pay per view. So it's a shame because CM Punk really needs to win after the book after the way he's been booked before he came to Raw. The way he's been booked, he's just been booked like shit, and he really needs to win here. But I just feel that the writers and the WWE is not going to give him the win here. But he really needs it, but he's not going to get it. So yeah, Randy Orton to win against CM Punk. Then the next matchup is for the World Heavyweight title matchup between Alberto Edge against Alberto Del Rio. This should be a pretty good, decent matchup. Edge is a good worker. I expect Del Rio is a pretty decent worker. The build has been okay at best, and then of course Christian is going to be the wild card in this match. In this matchup, he's gonna play a big factor in this matchup. So look for him to get involved somehow in this matchup. I thought this was going to be a triple threat matchup, but it looks like it's going to be a standard one-on-one matchup, and it looks like Christian will be in Edge's corner. So I'm looking for a very good matchup, and I'm looking for a swerve at the end of this matchup with Christian turning on Edge, setting up a program between Edge and Christian, which kind of looks like they're going to go that way. I don't know where they're going to go, but something tells me they're going to have Christian turn on Edge, and they're going to set a program between those two. So I look for Alberto Del Rio to win this matchup and be established as one of the bad heels on SmackDown. So Alberto Del Rio is my prediction for that. The next matchup is is a matchup that's gotten more hype and more focus than any other match on this WrestleMania card, and that's between Jerry Lawler against Michael Cole, with Stone Cold as the special referee and Jack Swagger in Michael Cole's corner. Really, the build has been pretty good, and then of course they had the Brian Christopher segment, which I wasn't a big fan of because it kind of dragged on and on and on, and it was just kind of boring. But everything leading up to it was been pretty decent. Cole playing the cowardly heel, and just been it's a match that many people are looking forward to just based on the build, and it's a shame that this match is getting more hype and more focused than any other match on this card, but that's how they're pushing it. But if there's any prediction I gotta go for in this matchup, I gotta go with Jerry Lawler to beat Michael Cole. I look for Michael Cole to get his ass handed to him during this matchup, and then after his matchup, I look for him to get a Stone Cold Stunner, just to send the fans happy, and for Michael Cole to get what he's been asked, getting what he's been to get what he needed to get a long time ago. So yeah, Jerry Lawler will win this matchup. The next matchup The next matchup is for the WWE Championship match between The Miz against John Cena. Really, the build has mostly been focused on John Cena and The Rock. Miz has kind of been the afterthought. The WWE title has kind of been an afterthought, and that's a shame because Miz is the WWE champion. He's supposed to be one of the young stars that they're pushing, but the main focus is Rock and Cena, and many people feel that it should be Rock and John Cena the way the build has been leading up to this WrestleMania pay-per-view, but it's going to be John Cena and The Miz. Really, I expect a decent matchup between these two. Miz, if they want to take Miz seriously as a threat on Raw and as a main eventer, he's got to go over John Cena. No questions about that, but for some reason, I just feel John Cena's going to win. And it's a shame, too, because Miz really needs to be established as one of the big bad heels on Raw, and and he needs to be established as a main eventer on Raw. But I have a feeling he won't, and he's going to job to Cena. I have a feeling there's going to be a screw job between Rock and John Cena, and then Rock will rock bottom John Cena. So, yeah, my prediction, John Cena, and that's my prediction for that. What's going to be the outcome of the end with The Rock and John Cena. And then finally, The Undertaker against Triple H. Really, the build has not been that good for this matchup. They haven't been focused. They haven't mentioned the WrestleMania 17 matchup, and I'm surprised they haven't mentioned it during the build between these two for this matchup. And I just don't know what to say. Although I have a feeling that they're gonna put on a decent matchup, but there's something tells me that it might not be as good as their WrestleMania 17 matchup. But only time will tell. We gotta wait and see. My prediction: Undertaker. There's no way Undertaker is gonna lose to Triple H. That's just how it is, and it's been said that Triple H has said in that WrestleMania DVD, which I haven't seen yet, but I watched some videos and people mentioned it, that Triple H said the streak should never end, and him saying that kind of gives away the matchup. So I have a feeling the Undertaker is going to win, but I expect some kind of a little bit of interference in this matchup. I see Shawn Michaels somehow getting involved in this matchup, but ultimately in the end, the Undertaker is going to win and keep his streak intact. But yeah, that's pretty much my predictions for WrestleMania 27. Really not looking forward to ordering it. The card, like I said, does look pretty weak, but there is some sleeper matches on here, but I'm kind of doubting whether I should order it or not because I don't know whether it's going to be a good or bad pay-per-view. But yeah, that's pretty much my predictions. Let me know what your predictions are. And till then, Fitness 65 out. Peace.